Hello, you beautiful people. I hope everybody is doing extremely well on this wedding Wednesday. I don't know. It's still hot in Texas. I know that it's raining in many different places. Hello, all you beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about menu tastings. What I love about menu tastings, you get to have amazing food by amazing caterers, and and quite frankly, it is the one time that we get to get everybody together because most often we have parents, bride and groom, along with the bride and groom and the event planner, and quite frankly, we have just a great dinner that we get to hang out and just visit. And we talk about all the final details of the wedding, which is amazing. So this is Amy Motter with Platinum Weddings and Events. I'm going to work on entertaining you just like my job is to do this on a live video. So first things first, when it comes to your menu tasting, this is really a point where people get very inefficient. And I don't know how else to describe other than inefficient. And it is because they say, I want to try 25,000 things. Well, that's not really how it works. You don't get to go to the caterer and say, let me try 15 different entrees and 25 different desserts because I haven't eaten in 10 weeks, so therefore I want to gorge on down and have a ton of food. It's not how it works. And I know when I have to tell clients that, they get a little bit frustrated. They're like, what? But I want to use them as my caterer. So just to give you a little bit of background, typically you will select 2 to 3 appetizers, possibly 4 to 5. You will have 2 to 3 salads, excuse me. You'll have 2 to 3 entrees, and then if you're going to have a specialty drink and they are providing that for you, then they most likely will allow you to have a couple, like 2 to 3 different drinks to taste. One thing that's important to remember with a tasting is that most caterers don't have a full service restaurant, so therefore they are making this food for you. That's important to remember. And why do caterers not give just free random tastings of free food? Because it all costs money. So most of them, we'll talk about payment a little bit later. So when I say don't stress about it, but when you're selecting your menu, try things that are different. If you think that you're going to want to serve chicken, okay, but perhaps you might want to try a short rib because that might change your opinion and say, oh, I might want short ribs instead of chicken. Or perhaps if you're not sure what a vinaigrette sauce or dressing is for a salad, you could try that. And maybe you want to try their house salad. Everybody's house salad is different, and I know I can ramble off a whole bunch of things when it comes to menus, but truthfully, just try different things. You know that if you like the way that short rib is prepared, and it's moist, and it's fresh, and it's warm, hot, the temperature that you'd like, and it's not too spicy, you can really look at chicken and say, oh gosh, if they can do that extremely well, then they can do chicken really well. So look at your menu, try something different, venture out. You might be surprised at what you do like with the caterers. Second point, you need to send your menu over 14 days beforehand. I'm really not sure why I said try. No, there's no trying. Have it 14 days beforehand sent to your catering representative. Reason is, if they by chance can't get something for you, if something's out of season, the challenging part about tastings is you're probably not going to do them in the same season that you're getting married. And with many of the fresh farm to market caterers that you have, you are a little bit at the mercy of what is being produced at their local provider. So, I don't know, 14 days. Decide who you're going to bring with you. That's an important thing. You are not going to bring 10 people. I know you would love to bring 10 people. I know you'd like to host a party, right? And be like, oh my God, 25 people. We can have them. They'll get some good food. That's not how this is going to work. Typically, it's 4 to 6 people. And those 4 to 6 people traditionally are the bride and groom, and then both sets of parents. It does not have to be that, but that's what traditionally what it is. It can be 4 people. It can be the bride and groom and the maid of honor and the best man. More often than not, your event planner is going to show up because they're going to be there taking notes. That's what we get to do. And actually, if there's a little bit of food left over, we do try to eat that as well. So think of your numbers, think of who you're going to bring. You do run into the probability of having a little bit of chaos if we do what we affectionately call get married by committee. If you do not want anybody's opinion, then do not bring them to the tasting. That's how this works. So if you say, I feel like I'm going to be saying that all day long. That's how it works. If you have people that you don't like their opinion and they think completely differently than you, and you do not want their opinion, don't bring them. Really, do not get married by committee. However, if you are like, I want people to come and I truly want to know what they think, then obviously bring the people that you would like. When you attend a tasting, you should go on an empty belly. And when I say an empty belly, I know that we know the words. It is empty taste, or it's an empty stomach. And I know the word, it's tasting. However, you will be shocked at the amount of food that comes out. The caterers are going to bring you out food. They're going to bring it out in portions that you can look at. You are going to share those portions. But by the time most people get past the 3, 4, or 5 hors d'oeuvres, then they're like, now what? I have to have a salad. Then we have the salad, and then we have the entree, and then potentially dessert afterwards. You are going to get full. So don't hog down the hors d'oeuvres and be like, oh my God, I can't eat another bite, because it's somewhat insulting, in my opinion, to the caterer when you're like, I can't even try the entrees that you have prepared. So when the food comes to you, or excuse me, when you arrive at the venue, obviously you're going to have a mask on. You're traditionally going to get escorted to the tasting room. Sit down. Then they're going to go through what we affectionately call the rules. The rules are, when the food comes out, take a picture of it. Your event planner should be doing this. Probably the catering director will do it, because you want to look at the presentation. If you do not like how it's presented, then you're going to need to say that to the chef. And obviously, don't be rude, but you can look at it and go, ooh, I don't think I like that. Or I like, the plate is too plain, right? We might want some garnishes on it. The tasting is the time for you to offer your opinions. After you take a photo of each, it's best to have each person taste the same thing. So if we're all going to try our, braised short rib, then have that first. Then everybody tries the chicken. That way everyone can offer an opinion. And that's what the cool part is, right? They're like, ooh, this one is too hot, temperature-wise or spicy-wise, or this does not have enough salt, or I like it saltier, I want more pepper, I don't want it this quote-unquote runny. Do know that catering directors as well as chefs do have the distinct ability to work through the words that you have. So when you say runny, they will understand that. If you say it's too hot, they're going to ask you probably a couple more questions so that they can really grasp what you want. Their goal, just like your goal, is to make sure that you have the exact menu that you want to have. That's their goal. And again, I keep going back to the presentation, but look at the presentation. If you do not like the way that it looks, then don't get it. But they're going to show you what it looks like. They will talk to you about serving dishes. They will say, this is how we do this. And if you think that's great, say great. This is the time for you to offer your opinion. Most caterers do not charge for a tasting if you have already booked with them. That is the operative statement. You have already booked. If you have not booked with them, do know they do not offer, it is not customary for them to offer a bunch of free tastings to everybody. It's not customary. It's not that they don't want your business. It's not that they don't want to feed you and all. I hear so many different things. That's not it at all. It costs money, and it costs a lot of money to do a tasting, and it's going to be an amazing meal for you. So if you have booked them, the tasting is complimentary more often than not. If you have not booked them, they will most likely charge you a fee. And most say brides say to me, well, how do I know I want to book them if I haven't tasted their food? I get it. I totally understand it. So pay for the tasting. If you choose to book them, more often than not, they apply that to your bill. So you're not out anything. Ultimately, it's free. So I just want you to know that don't be shocked when there is a cost for a tasting. You do have the opportunity, COVID, a little bit of a pickle right now. However, many caterers traditionally do open houses, and they will tell you, hey, we're going to be at such and such a place. Come by that open house, at least taste our food to see if you at least like the flavor, presentation, what have you. It's not that you have to get exactly what they're serving at that open house, but you can tell if someone makes terrible chicken, they're going to serve terrible chicken, right? Or terrible beef or terrible carrots. I have one client that she is so in love with her carrots from Royal Fig that she wants to have just an entire bowl of carrots for her at the wedding. They are delicious, I have to tell you. Also, do know that the extras don't traditionally go home with you. A little bit shocking to people because they're like, why can't I take all this food home with me? Well, they can't. That's just don't be shocked. You don't get leftovers. Sometimes you do, but not all the time. So, kind of wrapping up this a little bit, and there's obviously so much more we can go into, but those are just our like top 5 points there. Don't make an appointment too soon. Don't make an appointment when you're a year out to go like have a tasting with a caterer. The food will change, I promise you. If the caterer says you can do it a year out, they're gonna give you the caveat and say, FYI, we may not have this next year. So it's more or less a waste of time to do it a year out. Don't ask 100 people to come to your tasting. You can only have 4 to 6. Use that as your guideline. Don't assume guests have the same eclectic taste as you. Okay, this is a big thing. I appreciate that people like sushi. I appreciate that people like to eat a lot of sushi. I can tell you at a wedding, it does not go over well, or an event. I'm going to say weddings and events, corporate parties, you name it. Do not waste money on food that is not going to be eaten. You're feeding the masses. So there's nothing more sickening to me when I look at plates of food go by and people are like, oh my God, that was the most amazing sushi. And then I see 10 plates of sushi go in the garbage. So, blah, can't do that. That it is not going to make your life easier. Feed the masses. I just keep saying that. Feed the bellies and the masses, of the masses. Okay, you can make a menu that is specific to your dietary restrictions. You can do that. However, if you are gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free personally, say the bride is, the caterer will make a separate meal for you, right? Know that not all of your guests are going to be that way. So that's kind of a big thing that I have, right? We'll make sure that the VIP people are taken care of. However, when I say that, however, you do want to feed the masses. So make sure that happens. Make sure that if you choose to select options at a wedding, so I want to, and Brad will say, oh my gosh, I want people to have what they want. So we're going to have 1 seafood, 1 beef, 1 chicken, and a vegetarian plate. And then guests have to respond to that on an RSVP card. Do know if you do that, you have to keep up with it. And that the venue/caterer venue is going to say how many chicken are at this specific table, and you're going to have to color code things. It is not impossible. I can tell you that. It's a very easy thing when you're organized. If you don't think you can keep up with that, but you do want to serve different things, consider having a duo or a trio. So on a plate, people have a wonderful beef, they have chicken, and then they have some sort of seafood. Voila. Vegetarian plates, you don't always have to make a note of that. Meaning, when I say that, you don't always have to offer it, but if someone is a vegetarian or if they have any dietary restrictions, they will let you know. It's important for you to know that. You can hunt everybody down, but know that if someone is like, ooh, I cannot eat what have you. I can't eat shellfish. I can't eat this. I'm allergic to it. And caterers will accommodate that. Now, if you're saying that 150 people invited to a wedding, each certain person has a dietary restriction, then we have to revisit that, because that you can't make 150 separate plates. Well, you can. They're going to charge you. It's going to be a little ridiculous. So, that's what we're talking about today. Talking about food, talking about tastings and what you get to do. Obviously, we'll go in much more in depth into this topic at a later date. So, what has happened to us over the past week since we did this? Well, my 16-year-old daughter got her driver's license. That's a big thing in our house. Totally excited about it. We had to drive to Fredericksburg, Texas to do that because of the backlog. We booked an appointment in June, and in Austin they gave us October 28th as the first available appointment, and the soonest appointment we could get, again booking in June, it was for August 4th. So we drove to Fredericksburg, had a nice day of nothing being open, but we went there, took her test, she got her license. Praise Jesus. It's a wonderful thing to add to our family. New things I learned this week, gotta tell you, we started a YouTube channel. So our videos are all being put on our YouTube channel, which is My Platinum Event. You can go to our website, myplatinumevent.com, click on the YouTube button, take you to all the videos that we've been shooting during this quarantine time. And now I realize I'm looking at the camera and it looks like I have just a tank top on. I do have a dress. It's hotter than Hades outside, because welcome to Texas right now. And then, yeah, I heard a cool thing today. I tried a new instructor on our Peloton bike. Her name was Christine. And I like her. I liked what she said. although I can't feel my legs at the current moment. But her big thing was, I had to write it down, so I have to read it right now. But I can, I am, I will, I do. I was like, it's a good thing to start out at 6:30 in the morning. So I'm going to encourage everyone to say, I can, I am, I will, I do, because that makes life a lot easier. Actually had me going on here. And I just have to laugh because John Reedy just chimed on in that he got all the food 22 years ago when he got married. They let him take the food home. Yeah, that's not happening anymore right now. Also know one small thing that I forgot to mention, buffets. Don't be shocked if they say buffets aren't going to happen anymore. COVID, not buffets. Some are serving buffets, but FYI, don't be shocked about that. Okay, so that's what we got going on this Wednesday. Welcome to anybody that's newly viewing, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, go visit our website, www.myplatinumevent.com, and most importantly, be kind, be awesome, and do the right thing. Have a great day, a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.